Now, knowing how many girls actually play video games nowadays is kind of insane. Because back when I was in high school, not a lot of girls liked gamers. Being a gamer was like the same as being a nerd, except like less cool because all you did was play video games instead of being smart. And I remember back when I was in high school, there was this one girl that was absolutely insane and hated video games so much to the point where she destroyed my gaming setup. Now, the way the story happened was kind of insane. But before I get into it, obviously, I want to make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe if you guys haven't already. It seriously means a lot when you guys do. And on top of that, if you guys haven't clicked that subscribe button, do it. And as we speak currently, I am live on Twitch. It seriously means a lot to me if you guys also go down to the description and join me on my live stream after you watch this video, because I'm live talking to you guys. And on top of that, I am probably going to be describing a lot of different stories that I have not posted on the channel yet. So if you guys want any exclusives, go on to the description below and click my Twitch channel. Anyways, other than that, let's just get straight into this crazy story. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name is Bubba and welcome back to another insane story. So today's story is about how a girl destroyed my gaming setup. Now, the way this happened was actually kind of insane and honestly sucked. You see, back when I was in high school, I remember I went to a lot of different parties. And from party to party, obviously, when you go to parties, you meet a lot of different girls. Me, when I went to parties, I tried my best to not look like a video game kid or a kid who played video games, because obviously not a lot of girls that time were interested in gamers. Like, if you played sports, boom, automatically you probably already have a girlfriend. That's the way it kind of worked down here, at least. Anyways, I remember when I was playing video games and the boys invited me out to go, go to a party. I said, sure. So I remember I got my clothes on. I was dressed really nice. And I remember I ended up going to this party. When I got there, I remember I was walking around with my friends, just hanging out with people. And I remember there was this one girl. This one girl kept eyeing me down, thinking I was attractive. And I remember I ended up just walking up to her and flirting with her the whole night. It got to the point where she ended up actually, funny enough, decided to coming over to my place, which was really cool. And when she did, I remember she saw my gaming setup. Now, at this point, she seemed really pissed off. I have no idea why, but she was like kind of resenting my gaming setup. Like, I remember the first thing she said when she walks in, she's like, oh, like, you're like one of those people, huh? Like, bro, what? Like, what do you mean one of those people? I play video games. Like, what? I don't know. She hated that I had a console and hated that I played video games. And honestly, having a 2-monitor setup back then was not easy. But anyways, I remember we were kind of just hanging out and me and her were just in my bed and we ended up doing the Devil's Tango, which, I mean, wasn't bad. But at the same time, though, the whole time she just kept staring at my gaming setup instead of what was going on. It got to the point where it was so awkward where we just started laying down together and she just kind of like looked at me saying, I don't understand why people play video games. Like, my ex-boyfriend played video games and he was like an absolute loser. Do you want to be a loser for the rest of your life? I looked at her and I'm like, listen, honestly, I just play for fun. You need to relax, dude. Like, seriously. She was just all annoyed and stuff. And I remember she ended up turning the other side of the bed and just being pissed off. Honestly, my thought, I'm not gonna lie, I thought she was gonna go home. I thought she was just gonna go home, be the annoying girl she was, and me and her just never speak again because I played video games. But ended up she wanted to pass out at my place, so I was like, okay, whatever, go for it. As that was going on, I remember I ended up waking up in the middle of the night for some damn reason, and I realized that the boys were texting me saying that they're playing Call of Duty. And if you guys don't know, if you guys have that group of friends back in high school who played video games all night and all day, you already know the boys are always on. So I remember I ended up waking up, in my boxers, going to my desk and playing video games. I ended up turning on my console, playing some Black Ops 2 with me and the boys, and let's just say when she heard that console switch on, the girl was not happy. She turned her head, looked at me and said, are you seriously playing video games right now? I looked at her, I'm like, yeah, and I kept playing the video game. Honestly, I didn't care what this girl thinks. I enjoyed what I enjoyed, and that's final. Anyways, I kept playing and I kept playing more and more, and it got to the point where it was like an hour of gaming. She was pissed off and she's like, it's like 3 in the morning. Can you just get to bed? I looked at her and I'm like, let me finish this game real quick. At that point, we acted like an old married mad couple where one person wanted to do something else, but the other wanted to be just, quiet. Things were just not easy. And I remember it got to the point where she was so mad, she ended up standing up butt naked. She stood up and she looked at me saying, okay, seriously, get off the video games. I'm over. Show some respect to your guest. What? Dude, you're literally just a chick I brought over from a party to do the Devil's Tango with. Like, why are you so pissed off? You wanted to come over. And then she got more upset to the point where she actually ended up pushing me away from my desk. She ended up grabbing the headset off my head, grabbing my controller, throwing it across the room saying, seriously, get off the video games. You're not my ex-boyfriend. You're not my boyfriend. You don't tell me what to do. And I'm like, then why are you telling me what to do? Things got really riled up and it got to the point where her face was bloody red. Like, it was scary, dude. And then I remember after she did that, she ended up turning to my desk and literally flipping my desk over, picking up one of my monitors, punching it, and ended up grabbing my console and literally drop kicked it. She did all that in a span of like 2 minutes while I was just standing there thinking, how in the world am I going to stop this? Don't get me wrong. I tried grabbing her around her waist and pulling her away, but she just wouldn't want to do it. She was just so pissed off, and it seems like she had a lot of anger and rage in her from her ex-boyfriend playing video games too much, apparently. I remember we ended up making too much noise to the point where my mom came downstairs. She came downstairs and she's like, what is going on? What happened to your desk, Baba? I ended up pointing at her and she ended up pointing at me saying, he was supposed to sleep with me, but then he ended up like just playing video games all day. This guy's crazy. What? Are you serious? And then she looked at me and she's like, yeah, do you know these things things rot your brain? No wonder you're gonna get nowhere in life. What? Dude, honestly, if I could talk to this girl right now, I'm not joking. I think I would love to flex on her so hard about how much I've done with video games. But going on, she ended up being more pissed off minute by minute. And I remember it got to the point where my parents are like, okay, like you need to leave, you gotta go. And then she was escorted out of my house. After a while, the next day, I remember I went to school and I remember I got a phone call from my mom. My mom said that she cleaned up my room and sadly nothing was really like left. Like at most I had one extra monitor that she didn't destroy, but everything else was kind of messed up. My desk was fine. My keyboard, well, she snapped that in half. And on top of that, my console, well, that was gone for good. So me being all upset knowing that I had nothing to go home with and play video games on sucked. But then afterwards, I remember I get a text from my dad saying, hey, someone's at the door for you, Bubba. At that point, I was curious because I was at school. So I remember I ended up going home from school early and I went to my desk and I saw that, you know, how much was left. I was kind of pissed off, but then when I went up to the door, I ended up seeing there was an old man there. Well, an older person. He was kind of the same age as my dad. I ended up talking to him saying, hi, like, is everything all right? He ended up looking at me saying, are you Bubba? And I told him, yeah, is everything all right? He ended up saying, my daughter was here last night. And when he said it was his daughter, I started panicking. I was like, sir, listen, like, we both were just, you know, we were at a party. Things just ended up happening. And he looked at me and started laughing. He was like, haha, don't worry about that. That's not why I'm here. I'm here to pay you back for everything she destroyed. What? You're telling me that you're gonna pay me back whatever just got destroyed? He ended up looking at me saying, yeah, my daughter's done this before. I'm just gonna, you know, just hand you a check and you can just deposit it to your account. He ended up giving me a check for $1,200. I'm not gonna lie. I might have lied that everything in my setup was destroyed and ended up buying another PC, but you know what? Kind of worth it. Kind of worth it. And also, I was never gonna see the guy again, so it is whatever. Anyways, he gave me a check for $1,200 and I remember he ended up passing it to me. I gave it to my dad to deposit later on and I was just smiling. Knowing I got to go to the mall next day and buy a brand new console was worth it. So in a way, don't let anyone destroy your gaming setup. But at the same time, if it's a girl with a rich dad, maybe let her do it if you want a new system. Anyways, guys, that is basically it for the story. Make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe if you guys haven't already. Seriously, it means a lot when you guys do. And on top of that, if you guys haven't already, I am live currently on Twitch as we speak. So make sure you guys join on the Twitch link down below and join the live stream. Other than that, like I always say, fall for more embarrassing stories. All right, peace out, guys.